It's me, Vera, here to remind you that this is an adult podcast. That means we're going to deal with tough topics. Take a break if you need it, and be kind to yourself, because we sure won't be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cracked Crown, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition podcast. As always, I'm your storyteller, Mike Martin, joined by my wonderful group of players, Josh, Dot, Bub, Jason, and Mark. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
You're not stressed out, Dot? You look a little stressed out about how this is about to start.
I'm fine. This is a podcast. It doesn't matter what I look like.
You're not stressed out? You're not stressed out about how this whole episode is about to open?
Fine. You know, I thought we left some baggage back.
Do we need to do the same thing I'm about to do to him to you as well?
No, you do that first,
Okay,
and we're going to see how this rolls out. But that might have to happen.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm excited. You know, guys, we wouldn't be doing this, and I wouldn't be able to torture all of them this many seasons on if it wasn't for your support over at patreon.com/podbynight, where you can support us directly monetarily and get a bunch of extra goodies in the back end, like $5 gets you the after show for every single show we do on this channel, including SOS. $10 gets you video of that, where you can watch them all cry in real time. It's a great time. You can go up to the $25 tier and join the text-based RP that's taking place in the background of Gary, Indiana over on the Discord. Or you can just join the Discord for free and push us to that 1,000 members that we're climbing toward and just be part of the community, because there's people talking about theories and stories constantly over there. And I swear, it's like every month or so, I feel like the activity bumps a bit more. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to like temporarily mute it just to stop having that little white ping next to it all the dang time, which is a good sign. So you guys being there for us is a huge, huge support. And I'm going to push this as well as if you're on Spotify and listening to us, hey, leave us a comment. Answer the question we dropped as a poll. Interaction on Spotify is huge right now, and it's something that they're just starting, so we want to make sure that that's happening. It just helps get our show in front of new eyeballs for the big giant cost of $0. So if you could do that, that would be great. Beyond that, we've got obviously merch. There's a link tree you can go to over to our Twitter. You can check all that other stuff up. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of announcements. So everybody's ready. Let's set the scene, rein things in, and see what everyone, our dear coterie, is up to. Sean, Fear Frenzy roll.
Yeah. I mean, even with the warning you gave me, this is still a really bad feeling.
You succeed.
3.
You absolutely succeed. You failed the second. I don't know why. You need to roll it twice. You're good.
I guess I pressed it twice.
Sean,
well, I'll take the first one.
The figure that walks through the door, the 5'5", bi-colored hair, neon pink goth raver, Mia, stands silently. Her eyes immediately went to you, and they haven't looked at any of the other kindred in this room yet. First, what is Sean's outward reaction?
His demeanor shifts back towards the dissociation he was feeling earlier, and he seems to like stretch out his arms somewhere between willing to run away or not sure if he should like run towards her and like scoop her up.
And there's that. All that happens within a matter of 1 or 2 seconds. The reaction, the hands being confused. Does Duke say anything? Does anybody say anything before the silence lingers beyond a second or two?
Yeah, I'd love to break that silence.
You're welcome to do so.
Well. Look what the cat's right did.
She doesn't look to you. She is locked onto Sean right now. The look in her face. Give me a wits insight, Sean. Give me a wits insight. And you are welcome to put a +2 to this roll because of how well you know her.
Oh,
You spent
okay.
every day with her for like a year.
That is 2.
It's hard to tell if she's about to start crying because she's sad or ecstatic. But the quivering lip, the eyes hard, you can see droplets of red welling up. But she holds it. She doesn't cry. She remains wordless. Max speaks up. She doesn't turn to him. Out of curiosity, Robert, none of this makes any goddamn sense to you. You don't know what's happening. You don't know who she is. Do you say anything, or do you just sit back and kind of watch?
I eat the proverbial popcorn and observe.
So we even see him maybe take a half a step back, just a bit.
I
Vera?
do. You know what I do? I do look at her and I say, I imagine you like that My Chemical Romance band, don't you?
She absolutely ignores you entirely. But you wouldn't be wrong.
Max will actually lean over to Robert and just go, okay, it's a long story and we do not have time, but it is a history.
I have no doubt.
Vera, do we need a
I think
roll out
Vera
of you?
is as stoic as a statue. I think she has a full-on resting bitch face right now.
Duke, it seems left to you to break the silence and try and clear this tension that clearly settled in.
Well, I would hardly say that I'm a cat, Max, and if I am, I'm a very large cat, probably an apex predator, I would say. This is Mia. I'm sure most of you recognize her. Robert, this is Mia, first-time meetings. She'll be staying with us for a short time. I've guaranteed her safety while she's with us.
I see.
How does
well, it's
Vera
good
react to
see you
hearing
then.
that? Has she moved?
Everything's fine. Nope. I don't think she's blinked because she
I don't
doesn't
think
have to.
anyone needs to roll a wits insight to tell that Vera is in a state of being on edge. Are you close, would you consider, metagame speaking, to rolling a fury frenzy?
We're not there yet. Duke's gonna. Vera trusts Duke. He hasn't said his
Fair
full
enough.
piece yet.
If anyone has any grievances that they'd like to air, this is probably the time.
Max will look over to Mia and just go, Mia, right? No hard feelings. And then he just turns and...
Absolutely. So after you say that, and after Duke proclaims her safety, she then seems to just give in to what she's holding back, been back from this entire time, and not runs, not quite walks toward Sean.
Sean kind of breaks the indecision he's in, the trance, and meets her in the middle of the room and just bear hugs
And she
her,
bear
and,
hugs
lifts
you,
her off the
and
floor.
as you do so, she just kind of whispers into your ear your name.
I think Vera leaves. Upon embrace, Vera exits the room. Exit stage left, please.
Duke is going to follow.
Duke, fair enough. And so the camera zooms in as you scoop her up. Her feet get pulled up off the concrete, and she just kind of whimpers into your ear.
So sorry.
I didn't really know where. I won't leave you behind again. I'm sorry too.
You stumbling over your words. You can just hear her.
Yes.
You cannot hear her. You feel her just kind of hug tighter, almost as like a stop talking, and the hug just kind of continues. And our camera may catch a glimpse of Max and Robert. Robert, Vera went out quickly, and Duke immediately followed. What about the two of you?
Max will just sort of pick up his beer can full of blood and look over at Robert, then just sort of start backing up out of the room like Homer Simpson into a hedge.
And Robert, how do you handle it?
I'm deft enough at social issues to know when this is not my business.
You are more than adept. You are a master at social issues. So off he goes as well. And as the two of you kind of quietly leave, and the camera lingers on them, slow zooming as they are hugging wordlessly. It's a slow
I saw
fade.
someone use an invisibility spell once. I'm going to try it.
Do you? No, you don't. But you can get it.
No,
It goes a little like this, and Max just
Damn you, Max. As the camera slow fades to black, Vera, where did you go? And where would the camera be fading in on?
Upstairs to fold t-shirts for tomorrow. Because
That's okay. Oh, that's as the
You
camera
know,
fades in,
and
we
so
see
she's
Vera
like-
being an angry house mom.
yeah, she's just like, and it's not actually working, right? Because every time she's kind of slamming it onto the shelf so that it's unfolded again, it's just a activity, an action.
Duke, you are not far behind her. She's mid-folding her first shirt.
I will step into the room and announce myself with a like under breath.
Oh yes, your t-shirt, Duke. The extra large you requested is over there in the locker.
Thank you, Vera. Couldn't help but
Oh.
notice that you have some feelings.
I don't ever.
Oh, well, this is apparently Bizarro World, and you're lying.
Maybe, but it doesn't seem like my feelings are going to be very helpful in this moment.
I think that your feelings have been instrumental for our success the entire duration of our journey thus far.
Well, I thought I'd take a moment to consider the offer that you made. Is there a real reason why you have drug our baggage from New York to Chicago? Gary, Indiana. I mean...
I made a promise to Mia. I guaranteed her safety while she was exiting. She was supposed to come with us, but she was under watch. New York was messy in and of its sorts. It's unfinished business, unfinished issues.
It was messy because of Mia. We were all there, right? We saw it happen. The entire reason that we've had to pack our shit and move is because of Sean's parental figures.
Arguably, I would say that it was messy because of the figure known as Father, who was manipulating mass fenestrations.
I hesitate to lean into Mia being innocent in all of this.
By no means. She's not innocent.
And I'm struggling finding, empathy for her cause.
Certainly. At least now, she's on a bit of a leash.
Well, she only gets one chance to not fuck us over, and she already did that, so she's out of opportunities. If she puts this coterie, or our current business endeavors, at risk in any way, I'm fine to leave her behind for the Anarchs.
I think she's aware of that. She had no kind graces waiting for her in New York, and she realizes the error of her ways. And I, in various ways, informed her that if she continues down a path such as this, that she may find quickly that it will lead to a very unfortunate and swift demise. And I suspect very much so by your own hand, not by Sean's.
I can find more interesting ways than my hands.
I understand. I think
That
she's
being
aware as
said,
well.
I dare ask because if she's going to be living with us, it would be wise for her to contribute in some meaningful way other than getting teary-eyed like a basic Karen at Starbucks when Sean shows up. So do me a favor and tell me, what is she going to contribute to us?
Two things. The most obvious is that she is going to be a comfort spot for Sean, who has gone through his own manipulations. And I believe that there is something that is still lingering from Father.
So let's just bring the trauma of both men back into their lives so they can rehash it out. I'm just saying, Mia she's like the fire that lights the fuse. We nipped it, and now she's back to light it again. My fears will actually do the opposite, Duke. Sean was finding his way. What if Mia brings back a bunch of boyish feelings?
I think Mia could provide some answers for Sean. Sean is wholly not what we originally thought he was anymore. And until I can find someone that can teach him the ways of being of his actual clan, this might be the closest guise or bandage. On top of that, I have a personal agreement, and I've not informed anyone. I will not be informing Sean or Max or Robert, but I will be learning blood sorcery from Mia.
Why?
Consider it a mild interest. Sorcerers are feared. And I wield numbers, Vera.
I understand, but you don't need blood sorcery to be scary.
Oh, no.
You looked at yourself recently.
That's rather hurtful, don't you think?
Oh, I didn't say I was scared of you.
Well, I admit that I am rather lurchish in nature.
Oh, that's not the adjective I would have used, but I understand.
Well, I have a passing interest, and there are things that I wish to have access to that I currently do not. I lost many, many connections in the Chantry. Thanks to her, admittedly. I've aired my grievances as well. Oh, don't worry, she is not scot-free. It's not so simple.
And what says the mysterious locked Chantry about you learning their secrets?
Well, I'll have to work my way in. You know I have my ways. I wasn't exactly in your good graces at first either.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Once you tried to blackmail me, I was sold.
We'll figure it out.
I guess what I'm saying, Duke, is we're trying to keep the Camarilla on our side. My fear is that if we dabble too much and shake the system, no matter what we do in the end, we're fucked.
I completely agree, which is why I wanted to rush back quickly, so that I could start fixing any leaking issues.
I say that we keep Mia under wraps. There have been some new developments in your absence. And I'm not going to lie, we probably could use a good sorcerer, as you put it, on our side. At least in the midst of what we're dealing with.
She needs a fresh start, which means that she is aware that there will be favors requested of her, especially since I have gone on to take her under my wing. She's not afraid of getting her hands dirty.
Well, that's good, because Gary is filthy.
Yes, it is.
That being said, I have a soft spot for a fresh start. She cannot fuck up.
You'll have to tell her that. I've told her as much, but she wants to know specifically that she's not going to turn around and find her heart punched through her body by Max, or a beautiful pair of stilettos piercing out her eyes.
Let's let her live in fear for a while, yes? I think I'll give her the cold shoulder and make her try really hard to impress us. That being said, the bank paperwork is through, and we won't be staying here at the tire shop much longer.
I'd be happy to review everything, see if there are any loopholes or things that need tidying up.
Yes, I was actually hoping maybe you could do a little political research on the local Gary, Indiana scene. We're in need for some money to actually put into the bank proper. And I thought I'd go use my cunning wiles on, the mayor.
Very well, it shouldn't be an issue.
Does Duke or Vera ask or question about what Cesar called him back for?
You told me that Cesar was interested in the club. Did the exchange go well?
It was handled quickly, dutifully so. The paperwork was swift. I was supposed to acquire the club myself, but I saw the value in it being better suited for him.
Well, good riddance. I say, I don't even miss it.
Again, still in Bizarro world, aren't we?
Some things do change, but some things don't. Look at the tire shop.
I do not have the same vision that you have of this place, mostly because I cannot see your vision.
Well, that's because you haven't actually seen them changing tires yet. Now that is a sight.
Who is changing tires?
Some locals, new hires.
Locals, new hires. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a bit about them. What are they like?
They needed a better job. I had Garrett recruit them from the local clubs.
You're dancing, this time with words instead of on your feet. Just
No,
spit
I
it out.
hired a bunch of strippers to change tires. Duke, it's a brilliant idea.
Well,
Think
I mean,
about it.
I don't have to. The moment that you said that, it's safe to assume that in this day and age, sex still sells.
Especially in a place like Gary, Indiana. Plus, the bigger plan is, of course, we have to utilize this god-awful space somehow. And Sean's made a few connections in his newfound freedom, and we're going to be routing some of the trucks directly to us during the evening hours, being the only late-night shop, of course. Control the resource, which is not what they are moving, but how they're moving it. All of these weapons, all of these drugs, everything's coming through via trucks. And we're the best tire shop in town.
You're establishing yourself here.
I am establishing the necessary means to trade back what belongs to us.
You find yourself staying in Gary.
No. I have no interest in that. My interests go a little deeper, but most people don't want to hear about, my personal feelings. So,
If we are not anything else, outside of the coterie, we are friends. I've always been interested in your personal endeavors, your feelings.
I guess you could say I'm riding a little vengeance train right now, Duke.
As am I.
No! Maybe it's for the same man.
Jackson.
Yes.
Yes.
So, all I need to do is get what we came here for, trade it back, and get the hell out of here. And what's the worst that could happen? We make Gary an absolute shit show, something he still has to deal with. I came to terms with dying again years ago. I'm not even worried about what Jackson can do. I've seen men who wear ties, no offense, Duke. But they're all soft. Because they play by the rules.
That's no fun.
No, it's not.
I like to write the rules.
Precisely.
Some would say that's boring, but it's not for me.
Oh, I call it survival. That being said, Mia should put herself to good use quickly. Maxwell is busy, and we still have no idea what the hell this girl is doing, this visionary, what her entire purpose is, or why she's important.
Max didn't seem that busy.
No, not our Max. The ex-prince Maxwell of Chicago.
Duke is not, I don't think, informed of this.
Oh, right, you've been gone. Guess what? The dead Prince Maxwell is not so fucking dead. In fact, he is keeping some important oracle-seeing kindred in his basement who has some Malkavian sister that takes care of her, and she's giving him visions of the future. He's here to take back what is his or some fucking nonsense.
And he knows,
and
he knows Robert personally.
Oh, and do I know that?
Yeah, I think Robert told you when he came back. Like, he told you all about the
that's right,
Max
okay.
deal. Yeah.
And Max is willing to meet with us, I guess. He knows Robert.
3 weeks. Very fast weeks.
You brought back Mia.
Oh, yeah, I didn't resurrect a dead prince.
We didn't resurrect him either. And I imagine he hasn't been resurrected at all. That there's some bigger plot scheme, blah, blah, blah. He wants his life back, blah, blah. So, if we're really feeling rebellious, we could just sick Maxwell on Jackson.
Well, I imagine that's probably the goal. Likely some sort of staged coup.
So we help him stage it. I'm just saying. Seems rather obvious, doesn't it? Unless, of course, we want to do all the hard work.
Maybe we just let Max do his thing for a while. Unless, of course, it interacts or interrupts our lives. What does Robert think? What does Max and Sean think?
Of
the former prince.
Oh. Well, Robert seemed a bit shaken, though I imagine asking all of them yourself is the easiest way to get a correct answer.
As you guys are discussing, I was actually curious where Robert and Max went off to. Did you just kind of like leave and walk, or you would eventually pass by them, I imagine? And in that, you would see Robert at least, because Max went invisible, but Robert would be walking by, probably mid-conversation.
Yeah.
Max would be right
Plot
beside.
Convenient. We love to hear it.
Look at that. Ask and you shall receive. Max, Robert, how do you feel about fancy pants?
What, fancy pants? I'm a little offended that he's got my name because it makes things really confusing.
Well, I mean, he has he technically he's Max cubed because he's Maxwell Maximilian Maxfield, but doesn't really get any fancier than that.
It doesn't.
Not really. How do I feel about him?
I believe the conversation.
I'd rather not.
Please. I was say I feel like the conversation you and I had as Max and you like played along with him, but you were like, he had his time to shine. I don't have a problem stabbing him in the back. Am I incorrect on that?
The question is, what are we going to do about it? All of us seem a bit lukewarm on the situation, as if he's not really a threat, but he is hiding some powerful Malkavian in his basement.
Yeah, well, I think we can guarantee that the next prince is going to be a threat. And beyond that, Maxwell is what that piece of shit Gustav used to call me all the time, so I keep hearing his name and it gets me mad.
Well, this is why, fancy pants. This is code name, Duke. Code name.
That's why I said fancy pants.
So, there you have it. What are we going to do about it? I don't know. He does want to at least meet up. We can talk to him. Oh, but I did have an idea. He doesn't actually know what any of us look like, at least from what we know at the moment. And he's not necessarily seen Sean. So I thought we would replace Sean with Garrett posing as Sean, and let Sean snoop around a little bit while Maxwell was busy.
Oh man, Garrett posing as Sean, that's gonna be good. Make him do the accent.
Plus, it assures that no matter what, even if Maxwell takes all of us out, he'll go after Garrett, not Sean. There'll at least be one of us left standing to tell the truth to Jackson when it's all done. It's like insurance, really.
All right. And,
Duke's like rolling this around in his head right now. It's tumbling over. He's spinning it. Why does he want to meet us?
Well, I imagine it's because we came in and pissed on his front lawn.
No, he just a reminder, Jason, for Robert and the Max conversation, and Robert relayed the information. He said he doesn't, we don't have to be against each other. We can help each other instead. He basically offered to work together as opposed to working against.
So we needed a quick chat. So we thought we would set one up and discuss what it looks like to work together.
Yes, I feel like he's coming from a position of weakness, but that's just me.
I'm inclined to agree.
Alliance.
Robert is the one that knows. Again, he knew him personally. Maxwell ruled about 10 years, and then the Chicago fire happened. which Robert and those who were alive around that time were believed to be a Malkavian caused it. And in that fire, Maxwell was overthrown and kind of disappeared. People believed he died in the fire, but he kind of just disappeared while he was quietly overthrown by somebody who had been plotting this for a long time while the fire was raging. And then that's when he was last seen, was like the early 1900s.
So do we take this meeting or what?
I say we at least ask for one. We can size him up a little bit.
Yes, can't hurt, really.
And
We don't even have to have the whole coterie come.
And we're gonna have Garrett with us, but dressed up like Josh, like Sean.
Correct. He will pose like an undercover agent.
Okay, all right. This will be good.
You sure Garrett won't betray us?
Not entirely, but Garrett will do just about anything for enough money.
Question. If Max has been here the entire time and Garrett has also been here, then there's a likelihood that they know each other.
Didn't Garrett tell us he didn't know Maxwell?
That's what it seemed
He
like.
did.
Yeah, he was rifling through his
and
old houses.
You can't call him Max. You can't call him Max. You gotta call him Fancy Pants.
Fancy
Fancy. So like,
Confusing in
here's the
my
thing.
head.
As that's brought up, perhaps it does trickle into mind as you think. You're like, well, no, he said he didn't know it. He was at each one of the prince's old havens looking for things. But then maybe it takes almost like, or he could have been doing that under Max's orders to get things that he was looking for in that house.
True,
and
but
passed
why
it
would
off.
he
But
then be walking around with that information in his pocket?
That's where the logic
Because he seems
disconnects.
very surprised that we took it from him. So if he was trying to plot, he did a very good job of acting, so at least he'll be okay as Sean. And, you know what? If he recognizes him, then we know it's all a big coup. We'll kill Garrett. No loss on anybody. Just one less kindred to feed in Gary. And
He didn't hide the fact
then
that
we'll know-
Max is trying to throw a coup over Jackson. He wants Chicago back. He said that.
Oh, that was very clear.
Okay, cool.
But,
I am not trying to throw no coups.
Okay, well, we can avoid a coup, but the question is, are we going to work with Fancy Pants?
It wouldn't be a very good venture if I didn't at least entertain an offer.
My thought exactly. We can size him up, get the real deal, if you would, and then sort it out. And he seems to have a interest in Robert. So, Robert, can you set up a little tete-a-tete, little meet and greet, little, you know...
I don't think that will be a problem. We want
Silence.
everyone to go. But Sean.
Well, Garrett as Sean. There will
Garrett
be a
as
Sean.
Yes.
But not the real Sean. And I imagine we should keep Mia under lock and key, at least for a little while.
Okay.
What if?
I got an idea. We gotta make Sean dress up as Garrett. Like they switch clothes, right? And they gotta do each other's voices. That's
I
gonna
love it. I love it.
Well, this plan's going smashingly already.
What
Duke?
if this is what's the ruse?
Don't tell me
What
the
if-
Panic at the Disco broke up.
Who?
She'll be very upset.
What if Fancy Pants,
Why are we
as you've
panicking?
declared him, is aware of our affiliation and is attempting to pull the wool over us, over our own eyes here? Or what if it's just a trap? We've not exactly been quiet since we've arrived in Gary. In fact, we've borderline lit neon signs.
Well, that was kind of the point. Well, this location, anyways. There's no reason to hide that we're here. Jackson wants it one way or the other. And it's either going to be by a war in Gary or by peaceful negotiations by us.
I'm just saying, if the former prince has an interest in overtaking all of Chicago, what exactly is 4 or 5 kindred that he finds an affiliation with that very same prince?
Well, if a coup is his plan, I imagine he needs us to get to Jackson.
Jackson doesn't strike me as very hard to reach out to.
Well, I can't imagine he's wanting a Sunday brunch.
As I said, I'm interested in entertaining an offer.
Okay then. So the usual. I'll go cloaked.
I I'm looking to Robert on this one. You know more about fancy pants than we do.
For Robert or Jason, a reminder, when you had a meeting with him, he said he would return to get your answer within a week. So you have
That's right.
about
Okay.
4 or 5 days left before that's
What's
due.
the name of that establishment?
Oh, shit.
Boot something?
The
called,
creaky knee, the wet knee. Was that something else? Was that SOS?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, the soggy body part. Yes, it was disgusting. Yeah, the club, the other bar.
Yeah.
No, yes, the place we met had something to do with a boot or something.
Grandma's boots or something.
That does sound familiar.
Yes, the brown.
It makes
Yes,
sense that Robert probably didn't care to remember it because it's just so pathetic.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, friends. I forgot the name of the place, but I know where it is. It's on 4th and Salisbury.
Okay, so it sounds like we got a while before this
Couple days.
theoretical meeting's even gonna happen, huh?
But he'll be there. So if you arrive with everybody, I mean, he arrived in person for Robert.
I look at it this way. He's a former prince, right? Something tells me if he wanted to, he could waltz in here and kill us all with his bare hands.
Maybe. It's kind of like killing the messenger, though. Doesn't that immediately start, like, war between kingdoms or whatever?
What I'm saying is, he doesn't really need to lay a trap if what he wants is us dead.
Well, I guess we'll find out when he shows up, though I feel it pertinent more than ever before to give Robert a more detailed perspective on Mia's arrival.
Fair.
Yeah, how are you going to
could
break
give you
this
the
down?
breakdown.
Yeah, please do. I'm curious.
Do you guys? I will let you start.
It might be better heard from Sean. He would like not to spill his personal story.
Yeah, look, all I know is the only beef I had with her was she was working with Gustav, and he's dead, so that ain't a problem.
Let's just say it from a coterie perspective, then. Mia, in some form or fashion of manipulation, worked with the thin-blood primogen of New York City to put Sean in our lives through a strange series of events involving both Max's sire and a few other important kindred of New York City, such as an exabot that I only kind of knew. Sean was used as a vessel for a period of time at a thin-blood commune outside of New York City. In their plottings, they desanguinated the Prince of New York City. We took care of her body for a period of time with the help of the sheriff, Kadir, and we dealt with the problem only after the Sean as vessel with the, what did he call himself, father figure, decided to explode Thin Bloods in sunlight bombs across the city. In short, as part of a larger plot to get rid of the Camarilla. Surprise.
It was all personal grievances, though. It had very little to do with the Camarilla.
Yeah,
And a lot more to do with
There
our
was some
mistress
personal
here.
things between he and I, some history. There was, okay, fine. He was pissed. He was on a vengeance trail.
It was an angry ex-boyfriend.
I must admit, I'm even more confused now, but just...
Duke, you might need to logically lay this out in a non-emotional way.
Long story short, she was working with some real dirtbags that were causing us some trouble, but now Duke's vouching for her, so I say we let bygones be bygones.
She's looking for a fresh start. She needs it. And I imagine, Robert, you of all people understand how important a fresh start is.
Well. Yes, I do.
Well, that being said, if you want the down and dirty of my personal life, Robert, I'm sure we could find time
I'm
for
not
that.
asking about that. I just wanted to know who Mia was. I wasn't trying to pry.
But until you decide you want that information, Mia can stay. But she must make herself useful. And if she tries to harm Sean, or mess with the coterie in any way, I will find the most creative demise for her cute little face that has ever existed.
For clarity's sake, she's a very young and impressionable Tremere who's looking to start over. She had close affections and affiliations with Sean, and she's attempting to start over here with us before shifting her way into Chicago. She had nothing left for her in New York. She barely escaped with her life, and I would have to say it's because, in part, due to all of us. So she feels as if she owes a debt.
Okay, Duke. Real talk. Gonna be all right to let Adelaide hang out with her?
As long as you've informed Addie that there may be some disparaging disputes between clans, but I don't think it's going to be anything more personal than that. It's just sharing living quarters. Understand how it can be, rubbing elbows with people too often.
I just don't want her being a, bad influence.
I don't mind having words. The same way that I have to with Sean at this point. Nobody is still aware just exactly what Sean is, but I've had to declare him my childer. So if anyone's neck is on the line, it's myself right now. So I'm being very careful and treading with caution.
Well, would you like to go break up their makeout session, or should I?
Yeah,
Give that a few moments.
You should do it. You should do it eventually.
As Max says that, we actually will pan down, where we see the two of them alone. So as you embrace her, bring her closer, the breathing, still almost reflexive for you, Sean. Having been a thin blood. Oh, wait, actually, you don't need to breathe the thin blood, right? No? It might.
He didn't.
No, okay.
No.
So beyond the breathing aspect, it's just a long, silent embrace. You're in the moment, present. Floods of memories of New York come back, but a reminder that it's all past now. And in that weird detachment, the beast on the inside seems to swirl, but before even that can be attended to, it's the voice in the back of your head that reemerges once more.
My most useful tool. The one I regret wasting the most potential she had, that I oversaw and neglected. Now you have an opportunity to right my wrongs, to use her properly, to gain everything you've ever deserved, Sean, in everything I ever.
In that, the voice ceases. You're back in the moment. Only moments seems to have passed. Does Sean say anything?
Eventually. Eventually he loosens the embrace and goes face to face with her and is like, I didn't know if I was gonna see you again, so I didn't.
She just shakes her head.
Really hold out any hope.
Please, but she shakes her head as you say that, almost like she didn't think so either.
I wanted to. I don't know. I'm trying to be a different person now. I think it would be good if you stayed with
I
me.
don't want you to be a different person, Sean. I want you to be you. I want you to be the person you were supposed to be, not the person that he thought you were supposed to be. I'm the one that made the mistake, not you. And I'm gonna make up for that mistake. I promise. Duke. Duke's the reason I'm still alive. Before he left, he spoke to Kadir, and I don't know what he said, but it saved my life. And then Cesar came and got me out of prison. I was able to water New York, but there's nothing there for me. And Duke showed up. How can I say no? How can I say no to making all of that up again, to seeing you again?
Might have been a bit difficult, but I'm glad you took him up on the offer. I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of Duke a little bit myself, so he'll do right by you. I'm sure. But
Sean. Yeah. What? Listen to you again. It's like you learned a lesson. No. You follow Duke B. Who are you, Sean? What drives you beyond someone older than you telling you what to do? He was mistaken and he was wrong and he deserved death. My broken clock can be right twice a day, and he was right about one thing. You have the potential to be something greater than a follower.
I'm glad you're taking my corner. I appreciate that.
She shakes her head. She breaks eye contact, but listens, and intently listens.
I don't know if I can put into words what I've decided to be. I'm learning a lot right now, but no one's telling me what to do. This coterie is everything to me, Mia. I love you, but I work with them. I'm not working for them. I'm gonna build something. I don't know what it is. I'm waiting for the opportunity, but I'm still. It still hurt when I saw you in that fucking doorway. There is something going on that I will never be free from. The fucking voices in my head, Mia. I can't believe that you thick bloods really
raises an eyebrow
deal with this
when
all
you
the
say
time.
that.
What? What do you mean voices in your head? There's no voices in...
She just looks to you at that point.
This isn't... Yeah, I'm not being metaphorical. I'm hearing literal fucking voices in my head. Duke's told me about the beast. It makes sense.
And you...
I'm trying to fight against it, but...
Desanguinated father, he was not a Malkavian. I don't understand.
Yeah, I know what he was. Samitsi. I'm
You just
dealing
don't...
with that as well. I don't know.
You are of the old blood now, and that is all you need to say.
The look of bliss and happiness and confusion looks in rather slowly changes on her face to a obvious look of concern.
Have you told anyone else about this, or have you kept it to yourself?
I didn't think I needed to mention it.
Have you ever heard any of your coterie members speak of voices in their mind, Sean?
Okay, there's a lot of scary stuff going on right now. I'm not gonna be blamed for just kind of getting on with shit. I have a sexy tire shop to run. I have drugs to get. I'm a very busy man now.
Or like mid-speech, she kind of steps forward and grabs one of your hands just by the fingers. And she looks to you with a concerned but caring look in her eyes. As she looks up to you, there's a moment that kind of passes as you finish your sentence to let it finish.
Well, I guess I'm glad I am. You trust me enough to tell me these things, at least. I can help. I can try. Then I'm gonna teach Duke some things, so perhaps in the process, I will take care of you. I promise you, Sean.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Say that the concern wipes away, and in it is just a smile and that gentle look of acceptance on her face. And she moves in just to hug you again when you say that.
I'm so glad I came to.
And as she says that, the screen fades to black. And we will return next week for the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.